Well, my next guest, who was scheduled to be here, Karyn Turk, got stuck in some of that terrible South Florida traffic. So I'm going to tell you about this situation. It ties into what we've been speaking about most of the week, and that's censorship on social media by big tech against conservatives. Now, Karyn and her husband are attorneys for a woman named Cindy Yang. You might know that name, Cindy Yang, because she's the woman who previously owned the Asian Day Spa, there she is, in which Patriots owner Robert Kraft was caught and charged with soliciting prostitution. Now, we told you that the Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office has offered Kraft a deal, something in Florida called deferred prosecution, meaning he won't face any charges, but he has to admit that had the case gone to trial, he would have been convicted, would have been found guilty. And really, it's a way for a prosecutor's office to put a check in the win column and the defendant to walk away without any further problems, without incurring any more legal fees. The record eventually gets expunged. It's seen as a win-win for both, but many feel that Kraft, because he's a billionaire, he's a wealthy man, might very well fight it because he has more than enough wherewithal financially to fight the state attorney's office and potentially win the case. That's a separate issue. The woman Cindy Yang that Ms. Turk and her husband Evan Turk, an attorney, represent, Karyn Turk represents her in a PR sense, is accused or being smeared and maligned, even though she hasn't owned the business for, about 6 years. And so Karyn Turk, representing her from a communication standpoint, decided to post some things to Facebook and to defend her client. But Facebook didn't like that. Facebook decided, no, even though this is legitimate representation by a PR agent whose husband is an attorney, Facebook turned around, and you can see the graphic right there. Facebook said, this post looks a lot like spam. And that South Florida traffic cleared up. Karyn Turk joins me on set now. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So glad to be here.
So I was given a basic synopsis of what's happening here. You and your husband represent Cindy Yang. Mm-hmm. Cindy Yang is being smeared and maligned, but she hasn't owned the business for 6 years.
Correct.
Did she have anything whatsoever to do with the current owners?
No, as far as we know, no. She said that on national TV yesterday. She's done a lot of media interviews, and we've had the opportunity to speak with the client, but we've also all had the opportunity to see her in the news, and she's been very clear that she has nothing to do with it. All
right, so let's go back to that graphic. I want to show the audience that graphic one more time. You put this up on Facebook. So walk me through the context here and the timeline. I read this post. It's a little blurry, a little faded rather, but nothing sensational in there. You're simply saying, this is what Democrats have done. This is what the committee's asking for. Our client has had nothing to do with this business for 6 years. Then what happened?
It's really unbelievable, but it's not the first time that I've been censored, so I can't say that I'm surprised, John, but this is just simply an NBC piece that we did for the national news so Cindy could get her voice out.
This was yesterday.
This was yesterday.
NBC, the national network.
The national network.
Right.
The national network, and the post is unshareable from a national network.
So you were sharing a clip of NBC News, and Facebook
Correct.
called it spam.
Yep, called it spam, not once, but twice.
Did they give you any indication why, any reason?
Nope.
Similar to what happened to Dan Scavino, the White House communications director.
Yep, correct.
We think you're a bot. We think you're spam. See, this is something we talk about all the time. And we talk about Devin Nunes suing Twitter now for $250 million. It's going to be an interesting lawsuit because I get what he's alleging. He's saying, hey, look, these might be parody accounts, but they're doing damage. And you're allowing them. See, there's a broader problem on Twitter, and I've told the viewers about it. I go through my list of people I mute and block on Twitter all the time because I started to find Sebastian Gorka, Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump Jr., guys I know, guys we retweet each other. They're muted or blocked by me when I didn't mute or block them. And I'm not the only conservative with a large platform on Twitter that's noticed that. So I go through weekly, and now it's just become comical for me. I take a photo, hey, so-and-so, look, you were blocked. Not by me, but apparently by Twitter. They didn't want us to share each other's content. Tell me what else you're seeing on Facebook.
Well, my friend Laura Loomer had actually handcuffed herself to Twitter. And I mean, she's been out there in the news kind of defending conservative voices. And I think we're all in the same boat. I think we're all being censored, not only on Twitter, but on Facebook and these other social media platforms.
And if not censored, throttled. I mean, look, I talked to Seb Gorka on his radio show the other day, and then he came on the show yesterday. And I was telling him about a situation where Donald Trump Jr. and I retweet each other often, and he's got a massive following, and when he retweets me, I see thousands of retweets. 2 weeks ago, he retweeted me on something very topical. I had 38 retweets. That's mathematically impossible if you understand Twitter's algorithm unless something behind the scenes is happening to choke down, to throttle that content.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
it just doesn't work that way, especially with a guy, a platform of his size. So tell me a little bit about other media, other social media, and have they been as draconian? Have they been as restrictive against you as Facebook has?
They have. Instagram's been exactly the same thing. It's not a day goes by where I don't notice something in the algorithm where my stuff's not feeding to other people's feeds, including my husband's, and you go on there and I'm basically invisible. So it's a shadow ban, but it goes across all.
And it's not just pertaining to Cindy Yang. This is pertaining to...
No, this is pertaining to news articles. I post pictures of my kids. I don't see any problem with those. But the minute that I raise my conservative voice, all of a sudden, it's ironic that it becomes spam or annoying or, any other number of things.
Now, you have a radio show in South Florida. You do a lot of TV work in South Florida. And it's rare in blue South Florida to come out as a Republican, right, as a conservative.
I'm out.
You're out. You're out. You guys. And full disclosure, I know Karyn and her husband. We run into each other at political events all the time. So you guys are very active. You're very visible.
Yeah, I'm not hiding, and neither was Cindy Yang. She wasn't hiding. She was out at Republican events and conservative events and raising her voice as an American. She is an American, and we all need to remember
And she hasn't been convicted of anything.
No, nothing. It's just all this media buzz and this stir right now.
So when did it start? When did you start to see censorship on your content? Benign content, by the way. I read, we follow each other.
Yeah.
You're not incendiary. You don't post conspiracy theories. You're not inflammatory. And this one blew my mind. That's why I wanted to have you on the show. I said, this is an NBC News article.
It blew my mind,
An NBC News article. And they labeled it spam twice, right? They did it to you twice.
Yeah, twice. And then I went around and I checked it, and there are a lot of people that can't share it. It just is basically like an invisible post as far as Facebook's concerned.
I actually can't see it.
Yeah.
You had sent me that image that's up on the screen now, and when I went to your account, I can't see the actual post.
Yeah.
So what I don't understand is Facebook's logic, though. They essentially fade it out and let you know the rest of the world can't see this.
Right.
It almost seems antagonistic.
It is antagonistic.
Like not just deleting it, right?
It makes me want to fight back. It makes me want to fight back. It makes me want to shout louder, like coming on the show today and saying, you know what? Here's a story that we're trying to get out about somebody who's a fellow conservative and a fellow American. And regardless of what you're reading in the media, she has the right to have a voice. And not only are they silencing me, but they're silencing her at the same time when she's international news right now.
And what I don't understand is even Roger Stone, who had a restrictive gag order, one of the things Judge Jackson allows Roger Stone to do is, as loudly as he wants, maintain his innocence.
Yeah.
Even that judge, who I think imposed a pretty strict gag order, said to him, but two things you can do. You can maintain your innocence and you can raise money for your defense. Facebook is taking it a step further. Now you can't even maintain your innocence, it looks like, if you're a conservative.
I feel like it's anti-American. I feel like Facebook, in a way, I think that's very anti-American because being an American means being able to raise your voice and have free speech. And obviously the judge recognized that, but I guess Facebook doesn't.
What's scarier to me is that your firm is representing her. Your husband is an attorney. You as her spokesperson, we'll call it.
Yeah.
So she has licensed representation by an attorney in Florida. You, by extension, are speaking on behalf of the client and the firm, and they're shutting that down. So it's not just her voice. It's her representatives who have no dog in the fight.
Well, and what's crazy is if you watched a lot of the interviews, Michelle Merson, who's been out talking, on her behalf and is one of the attorneys on her team, she's actually a registered Democrat.
Interesting. And she's
Breaking
being censored
news.
as well?
Nobody else knows that. I don't know if she's been censored yet, but she's a registered Democrat. It'll be interesting to see whether or not she's subject to the same censorship that we are.
Well, I think you didn't do wonders for her dance card in Democratic circles
It's
right now.
okay. It's all right. She voted for Donald Trump.
I think you outed her doubly there.
I did.
Karyn Turk, thanks for your time today. And I'm going to bring you back because I want to see how this progresses. Are you going to complain to Facebook?
Yeah, I have. I have, and I'm following up on it.
All right, good. Let's bring you back. We want to find out what's going on here.
Excellent.